I'd like to start today just by showing you the trailer, and then I'll tell you a little bit about how the project got started.
Anything you would want to learn from the internet?
Could you explain a bit about this Facebook?
Facebook?
Something,
Okay.
and you happen to be a friend?
I typed in www.email.com.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Have you ever heard of YouTube?
Yes, I've heard of it, but I have no clue as to what it means.
How many people here have used a computer? Well, we have some teenage volunteers who are willing to teach you how to use the internet.
I think I'm too old.
Oh, yeah, lots of patience, Henry.
Today we're going to go on Facebook. Do you remember how to get there?
Well, I think I just, no.
No, these things that I've never even dreamed of.
I love it. Welcome to a whole new world of information.
Every time we get together, Sure just wants to watch cooking tutorials on YouTube. There's a big game called Minecraft. Maybe we could cook something that looks like one of the characters in Minecraft.
Hi, everybody on YouTube.
We should have you do a music video.
Teeth are as fresh as hot popcorns, my old teeth.
All of the other seniors are so inspired, so we're going to have a contest to see who gets the most views of their YouTube video.
Hello, YouTube. Hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
Today we are talking about trap.
Music. Sisterhood. Lillian Evans is beating mine. I need more hits on YouTube.
This is the big moment that we've all been waiting for. The first prize, winners of the Cyber Seniors competition, goes to...
We all know how difficult it is to learn something new, but we really do feel that it can change your life.
So you got a friend request from...
Leo, who's he?
He's in the same program.
Well, last time you got a message, sure eating.
Look at here, others take it.
Oh, hello, Eller. Hello, Shara. Megan said thank the people who taught you.
You're welcome.
Love you.
They see a program like this and they think it's an opportunity to get in touch with their grandkids and communicate.
No matter how old we are, we do need a purpose for getting up in the morning.
So this documentary film was the brainchild of my oldest daughter, Saffron Cassidy, who also directed and edited the film. And I am a mother of 5 children, and for my entire adult life, I worked and I grew a healthcare company. In 2009, I decided that it was time for retirement. So I sold my business, and that same year, my youngest 2 daughters were in high school, and they were sitting around one day trying to figure out what they were going to do for the community service project. I'm from Ontario, and in order to graduate from high school, you have to put in at least 40 hours of community service in order to get your high school diploma. So they were sitting around, of course, with their laptops on Facebook, and suddenly my mother posted a comment on one of their Facebook pictures that had been taken at a party. And of course, the first reaction that my daughter had was, oh my God, what is grandma doing on Facebook? She's, this is really, really creepy. Anyways, they started checking out my parents' Facebook profiles and pages, and they started to talk about how the internet had really changed the lives of their grandparents, and it had really changed the relationship they had with their grandparents. I think that they always had a great relationship with them, but as a teenager, that relationship starts to wane a little bit. No longer do you want to go and sit in the car for 2 hours to visit your grandparents. So the internet had really established a closer bond with them. It gave them something in common, really, and gave them a great communication platform. So as they spoke about it, they came up with the idea of starting the Cyber Seniors program as their school project. So they went back to school and gathered a number of their schoolmates and approached a local retirement home and started going into the home a couple of times a week to teach the seniors how to use the internet. As I mentioned, my older daughter is a filmmaker, and they asked her if she would go in and do some filming for them so that they could present it as part of their project. So she went into the home and she did a bunch of filming one day, and she came home and she said, well, this would make an amazing documentary film. What I'm seeing from behind the camera is a story that really should be told, needs to be told. And she said to me, you're not doing anything anymore. You're retired. will you produce it for me? So, normally I was really quite set on retirement, and normally I would have said absolutely not. However, when your 20-something-year-old daughter actually wants to spend time with you and work with you, I was absolutely delighted. So we hired a film crew, and we filmed for 10 months, gathered 120 hours of film footage, and then my daughter edited for a full year. And out of that came this beautiful, beautiful story about transformation and growth. And when we started this project, we were really thinking that we were telling a story about how the internet could change the lives of senior citizens. And as we edited, we saw all these various themes coming out. And one of the things that we really saw was that not only did the senior citizens change and transform and learn from the experience, but so did the kids that were involved. I'm going to show you the next clip, and then I'll talk a little bit more about some of what we observed while we were filming.
Jenna from Fort
My grandchildren, all my grandchildren.
Jordan, and
That's my niece. Okay, let's see.
You want to confirm them as friends?
Absolutely.
So you go over here and click on confirm. See if you go over this girl, there's Jenna Rockport, and if you go over top of this girl,
That's my granddaughter.
yeah, she's stunning, gorgeous. Was she single?
Well, I think
No, she's in a relationship.
Well, what kind of relationship?
I don't know, I hope it's not that. I hope it's not
They call it in their relationship? Oh my God, 15 years old.
Yeah, look.
Oh my goodness, Jenna, you better be careful. Let me see. Oh my God.
My gosh, censorship. Well, that's your
Kind of
grandmother.
stupid.
Well, that's good. This is exactly why I don't have my grandmother on my Facebook.
Yeah, it's going down. Okay, so, let's see the other.
Sure.
Okay. Oh my God. Tate, this is all over the world. That's not nice to say.
Oh, swearing.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. I don't know these kids.
In my Facebook, I just had pictures of me running through the meadows and stuff like that. It's too bold. I make a bad impression, and I'm very old-fashioned that way.
People you know, I don't know those people. Now you see, this is it. There is no privacy there.
So that was a clip taken directly from the film. And as I said, when we started this process, we were expecting to see change, and we were expecting to see the senior citizens get a lot out of the project. But what we realized is that young people today have got a real opportunity to develop some very, very important skills and life lessons, and learn some life lessons through being involved in an intergenerational program like this. In the clip that you just saw, you saw that there was a lot of exchange of information. There was exchange of ideas, there was exchange of opinions. Cybersecurity was one of them that, we're dealing with two vulnerable populations, senior citizens and kids. And so it was really, really interesting to see the various attitudes. And they learned from the various attitudes. So the senior citizens were able to share with the young people their opinion on privacy and sharing information. And the younger people were actually able to teach the older adults the more technical side of protecting privacy. Kids are obviously a natural teacher when it comes to technology. But as you saw in the opening clip in the trailer, how awkward Max's explanation of Facebook was. And we saw many, many times where these young people were asked to explain something, and they learned through the process that teaching is harder than it actually at first appears. Even though they have the information, it's another thing to actually explain it. And they learned patience and understanding and just a new way of communicating with senior citizens. Community service is something that isn't a requirement in all states, but I think it's a very, very important aspect of a young person's lives. And so, providing them with this opportunity to participate in a program like Cyber Seniors, there's not a lot of work involved, there's not a lot of setup time. It's a very, very simple way of putting in community service time, yet it has such a powerful result. We have developed 7 clips based on various themes that came out. The next one is on the generation gap, and it's part of our educational package, which you've all been provided with. So I'll show you.
But I cannot get over the fact that when you meet a child, what they know about the computer and the speed and the way they go at it, where we go like this, you know, it's amazing. So there's a huge generation gap, I think, because it's come so fast.
Generation gap is a term that became popular in the 1960s. It refers to the differences between people born in different generations. For example, the way you dress today is probably very different from how your parents or grandparents dressed when they were your age. Similarly, it is likely that you do not have the same taste in music as your parents or grandparents.
Have you ever listened to rap? No. I said it hip hop, a hippie to the hip hop, the don't stop, a rockin' in the back, we'll say up jump the boogie, the rhythm to the boogie, the beat. Now what you hear is not a test out. Yeah.
That was cute.
There will always be certain differences between generations due to changing cultural and social norms. But the truth is, the generation gap today seems to be growing at an accelerated pace due to the rapid changes in technology. Technology has majorly impacted the way we communicate, and generations seem to be divided by those who are born into a tech world, those who have adapted to a tech world, and those who have been left behind. Throughout the filming of Cyber Seniors, we started to realize that when knowledge is shared between generations, we begin to see the generation gap narrow. Mentorship can go both ways, as you can be both a teacher and a student when interacting with someone who grew up in a different era. You may even come to learn that you had more in common with someone from another generation than you previously thought.
After this experience, do you think there's a generation gap?
Of course, the biggest one I think ever, actually. Like, I don't think there'll ever be another jump like this. We've lost human connection in one sense, but we've kind of made up for it with technology. Not that that's a good thing, but at least when they learn the technology aspect, they can connect again. So that's good.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. And enjoy the rest of the day.